Welcome. My name is Paul Spicer, my pronouns are he and him, and I'm a man of European ancestry about to turn 60. Welcome to First Unitarian in OKC, where our mission is to explore the eternal, nurture community, and pursue the common good, where we believe that we thrive in community not in spite of, but because of our differences. Thanks to the teams of volunteers and our staff who have made this service possible. As we get settled in, I want to direct your attention to the events listed in the order of service, in particular to a couple of upcoming events. Please plan to join us after the service on the 22nd of this month for the Buck a Dip fundraiser for the Alliance. Please come prepared with cash or checks. Also on March 8th, and again in Daniel Hall, please plan to join us at 6:30 for an interfaith talk and dinner with the Turkish Rainbow House. The event is free and family friendly. More information about events is available in the order of service, the weekly newsletter, or our website. There are many ways to stay informed and engaged. And if you're not yet on our email list, please use the QR code in the order of service to sign up. If you're online, you can sign up under the newcomers section of our website. Please take a moment to silence your phones for our time here together, and as you do so, please take a minute to check in on social media if you still use it, to let people know you and we are here. Welcome to those joining on YouTube. As we welcome each other in the sanctuary, take a moment to introduce yourselves in the chat. For those of you here in the sanctuary, we'll now take a moment to greet one another. Please turn to the people seated near you and offer a quick greeting and welcome to the one you see. The bells will call us back to the service. Thank you for helping create the warm welcome of the community. After the service, please stick around to continue your conversation and hopefully make some new friends in the social hall right out these doors to your right. Notice at the end of your order of service, there are questions for coffee hour. They are new questions each week to help you deepen your engagement with the morning's topic and to help start a conversation with someone you don't already know. Today's questions are, where do you find healing in nature? When has life experience grown your core? The flowers were given today by Diane Broyles in memory of her husband, Robert, and her son, Jim. Both had birthdays in February. For those of you online, please join us by lighting a chalice or candle in your space. Here in the sanctuary, our chalice will be lit by Rick Gibbons, a member of our immigration justice team and a volunteer at the Sparrow Project. We light our chalice in Midtown Oklahoma City on land that was home to First Americans, including the Apache, Caddo, and Wichita, on land that was taken from the Muskogee and Seminole, and other removed and relocated peoples. I offer these words, "Where the Streets Are Holy," by Craig Rowland. We light this chalice for the sacred that walks unshod through alleyways, that leans against brick walls with smoke on its breath, that hums in neon flicker and bus exhaust. This flame burns for the holiness found in dirty hands, in cracked voices, in those moments of sudden stillness between sirens and footsteps. Not every sanctuary has walls. Some are made of shadow and asphalt, some are stitched together from longing, kindness, and sheer survival. We light this flame to remember divinity does not always wear white. Sometimes it wears denim. Sometimes it looks like a stranger, holding the door just a moment longer. It burns to show us what is real. Please join me in reaffirming our covenant, which can be found in your order of service. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
Good morning. I'm Reverend Kent. I'm a tallish, middle-aged white man wearing a black clergy robe and a stole that has purple lotus flowers on it against a green background. I use he, him pronouns. This call to worship is from Reverend Gretchen Haley. Though you have been warned and given plenty of explanations, reasons to do otherwise, you have persisted to claim life and joy and justice, to carve out this time, this space for the renewal of your own heart. Despite all the reasons, the resistance, fighting for your attention, luring you toward fear, you persist to practice gratitude for this day, for this life that has been given, this chance to begin again. And so let us gather, that we might offer one another courage, strength, healing, hope, and this promise to persist in kindness, persevere in compassion, and prevail in a life that is for more than ourselves. Come, friends, and let us worship together. Welcome to our time to be together at First Unitarian Church. Our opening hymn this morning is We Are, number 1051.
Yes. I know that this one may be less familiar to us. There is a deceptive repeat sign that I will try to tell you to turn your page back to the front page, but you can also listen to the choir as they will be our strength. But I also really enjoy this hymn a lot. I think it teaches us to live our lives, to learn from the generation before us and teach the generation that comes after us. Would you please stand and sing We Are?
Child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are mothers of courage and fathers of time. We are daughters of dust and the sons that great visions. We're sisters of mercy and brothers of love. We are lovers of life and the builders of nations. We're seekers of truth and keepers of faith. We are makers of peace and the wisdom of...
We turn back.
We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are the grandmother's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are mothers of courage and fathers of time. We are daughters of dust and the sons of great visions. We're sisters of mercy and brothers of love. We are lovers of life and the builders of nations. We're seekers of truth and keepers of faith. We are makers of peace and the wisdom of ages. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our
once more.
For each child that's born, the morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are.
Thank you.
Would you join me now for a short time of prayer? Spirit of life, God of many names, mystery beyond naming, we gather in thanks for this good day. This week offers a whole new lineup of twists and surprises. In our already challenged Oklahoma economy, Devon Energy is packing up and leaving the state. We hold in our hearts the many families holding their breaths for news. The shenanigans and the Trump regime continue, all the while our planet cries out for protection. We're not sure how much more she can take. And yet somehow, in the midst of uncertainty, the promise of spring stubbornly pokes its head up. May we too find the courage and inspiration to rise and shine. May we too recognize that it is time for our best selves to emerge, no matter what season of life we are in. Remembering that being our best selves often means helping others recover their brilliance. For the seasons, for life, and most of all for hope in our times of challenge, we thank you, Spirit of life, that lives in us and among us. Amen. This morning, if there are any children or young at heart who want to come a little bit closer for our Time for All Ages today, you are welcome to come on down, as Bob Barker might say. We have a very special treat this morning. The author of our Time for All Ages book is here with us to read the story. It is partially her own story. So come on down.
Okay, so this book is called Refugee, My Journey from Burma or Myanmar to the USA. Okay, are we ready? All right. Have you ever lived somewhere with tall trees that you can climb endlessly? Have you ever been surrounded by luscious green mountains in every direction? Or have you known all of your neighbors like a big family? I was born in a place just like this, and this is my story of how I moved from my tiny village in a country called Myanmar all the way to the US. I love my village and the people who live there very much, but there was a war in my country and it was getting worse, and my family needed to move to a separate place. We packed and moved to a city called Kalimyo. Can you say Kalimyo? And during rainy seasons, we took showers outside. Have you showered in the rain before? It's so fun. You should try. There was a gutter that sprayed water like a shower head, and sometimes it rained so hard it hurt our heads. And in our yard, we had all kinds of fruit trees, and some of the fruit didn't produce enough fruits for all of us, so we would get up early in the morning and get the ripe one. And we also had a lot of animals, and sometimes we had to watch out for chickens so that it won't take our food. And we walked to school every day with my siblings and friends. And sometimes we built tents out of huge leaves, like banana leaves. Have you seen banana leaves? Have you seen banana leaves? How about coconut leaves? Have you seen coconut leaves? Yeah, those are huge leaves, right? And then we would also draw hopscotch in the dirt, play with rocks and sticks, and make dirt cookies. But sadly, it wasn't safe. And my parents, they didn't have work in the country, so my father decided to move to Malaysia to support us. And while my father was working in Malaysia, my mom worked really, really hard in the garden and take care of us. Who likes doing garden here? Yeah, it was really fun. I enjoy helping my mom in the garden, and we would go to the market to sell our greens or whatever we have early in the morning, like 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning. And 7 years went by while my father lived in Malaysia, and the rest of us were still in Kalimio. Unexpectedly, we found out some big news. My father had applied to become refugee with the United Nations, and we were accepted, and my family had to move to Malaysia very fast. We quit school and said goodbye to our families and friends. It was very sad because we were not sure when we would see them again. While we were sad, we were also brave and began our journey to cross the border. To stay safe on the border, we could only travel at night. We used boats and cars. We walked and ran. We crossed through rivers, forests, fields, and mud, all without shoes. We stopped in Thailand to eat and rest before continuing our journey. Do you know Thailand? Yes. So Burma is very close to Thailand or Myanmar. We have two names, Burma or Myanmar. After many years apart, we were finally able to reunite with our father in Malaysia. I knew he had worked really, really hard in Malaysia for us, and we were so relieved to be with him again. In the United Nations office was always full of people like us, waiting for the chance to be resettled in another country. People even slept at the gate while they waited. Here, my family learned that we would be resettled in the United States of America. You know, refugee, they don't get to choose what country they want to be resettled in. So two of my cousins actually ended up in Australia. It was my first time flying from Malaysia to the US. It was a long flight. It was like 16 hours flight. We crossed many, many countries, and I wonder what the US be like. I have heard that there were big cities with lots of skyscrapers. I was super excited to move to the US. And we finally made it to the US. We met new people from all over the world and learned a whole new culture. We were able to go to school again and started learning English. So when I first got here, I did not speak English. We learned how to cook on stove, how to use air conditioner, and how to shop with bank card. And this was my new home. This is my new home. And I love meeting new people from all over the world with different skin color, culture backgrounds, and views about life. I enjoy learning about other people's tradition, also listening to their stories, and my life is full of opportunities to learn new things every day. I dream about Myanmar all the time. I still dream about it, like 2 nights ago. And I miss my family, friends, and the fresh fruit. And I love living in Myanmar, and it's just not safe right now. And I love living in the USA. Thank you all.
Now is the time in our service where we sing our children, youth, and teachers off to the religious exploration clubs. Today we have art club and games club, and we're going to sing a new dismissal song, and we're going to get a little bit of guidance on our new dismissal song.
Yes. So if you are wanting to read along in your hymnals, it's the teal one of 1074, or the lyrics are printed in your order of worship. We're just singing the first 2 pages in 1074, Turn the World Around. Let's try it. Hit it, Kate. We come from the fire, living in the fire. Go back to the fire, turn the world around. We come from the water, living in the water. Go back to the water, turn the world around. We come from the mountain, living on the mountain. Go back to the mountain, turn the world around. Whoa, so is life. Ah, so is life. Oh, so is life. Ah, so is life. We come from the fire, living in the fire. Go back to the fire, turn the world around. We come from the water, living in the water. Go back to the water, turn the world around. We come from the mountain, living in the mountain. Go back to the mountain, turn the world around. Oh, sorry, I was just that one. Yay!
I don't know if I'm ever going to get used to storm season here in Oklahoma. Our annual reminder that our household budget can be more about maintenance and repair than it may be about building something new. But nearly 20 years in, I have found folks I trust with this work and gained some confidence in our ability to pick up the pieces and move on. I'm reminded of the line I heard from a colleague when folks descend on us after a storm. No thanks, I'm going with my usual roofer. It is at once a testament to how often we have to fix things, but also a statement of what we learn in the process. I've come to slowly embrace the idea that I am a caretaker for our very old house, which has seen many more storms than I suspect I ever will. I have found people that I trust with the work, and I've learned that the repairs can also be an opportunity to build and improve. Clinging to the idea that I can insulate myself or the people and things I care about from the difficulties in life has had me overreacting when they inevitably occur, and makes it that much harder to embrace the full catastrophe that is our life, to quote John Kabat-Zinn, quoting Zorba the Greek. While I doubt I'll ever approach that level of equanimity, certainly not with respect to my house, which is a source of endless anxiety, as my wife can tell you, I have found that life can be much more enjoyable when I can roll with the resistance it offers, when I am able to work with the world as it is, in all its messiness and imperfection, and not just as I would like it to be. Generosity is a spiritual practice that we embrace every Sunday when we take an offering. All the cash and designated checks are distributed directly to an external nonprofit organization doing good work in the world. Today we are joined by Kim Bandy to tell us more about this month's recipient, the Sparrow Project.
Good morning. Thank you all for having us. We are admirers of your work, of your community, of how evident it is that you care for your city, so we're really grateful to be able to be a part of that. The Sparrow Project is a local nonprofit that was born out of Oklahoma City and has stayed here for about 18 years now, and we partner with the resettled refugee community of Oklahoma City. So those are individuals, just like Sung shared about, that have been forcibly removed or forcibly displaced from their country due to war or violence, persecution, and then they are one of the few that gets selected by the United Nations to be resettled into a third-party country like the United States. So the Sparrow Project gets to partner with these new neighbors and welcoming them into Oklahoma City. And we get to do some really fun programs and projects with these neighbors, such as English classes, after-school programs, youth mentoring, helping neighbors get jobs and learn how to navigate systems here in Oklahoma, because some of our systems are very, very confusing, and some of our words are very confusing in Oklahoma. We use some slang that they don't teach necessarily in proper English class. So we get to partner with neighbors in that way. But most importantly, we get to partner with neighbors in learning from them. As you heard Sung share, her family walked through the journey of arriving here to the United States with wisdom and resilience and hope. And when they joined us in this city, we had so much to learn from them, and we still do, which is why we love working with neighbors and as staff. And so while we get to do incredible programs for anything that you can think of would be hard to learn here, we get to be cultural brokers that say, here's a system that you've never seen before or that looks very different in your home country, and let me kind of tell you what that looks like. But every time a new neighbor lands in Oklahoma City, I believe that our city is iterative, and it's alive, and it's remaking itself all the time. And so it is not our city to offer someone, it is all of our city at all times. And so every time a new neighbor joins us in Oklahoma City, it becomes richer and better and different than it was before, and we all get to experience that. And so we are so grateful for your partnership, because you allow us to continue to partner with neighbors, to learn from them, to make our city better and stronger, and to get to show up for them every day when things feel hard or complicated or scary in a new place. We get to learn and give to each other. And so thank you for being a part of that. We are so, so grateful. And there's so many of you that I'm looking at that have been such great neighbors and friends and partners for many years. So we are grateful to continue that partnership and glad to be here today. Thank you.
Thank you, Kim. As we enjoy the offertory music, our ushers will pass the offering plate in the sanctuary. Please help them by passing the plate to the end of your row. Online, you can make a gift through the One You See website or send a check to First Unitarian. Just write change for change on the memo line. Would the ushers please come forward to receive the offering?
Our reading this morning comes from Pima Chodron. She writes, "Things falling apart is a kind of testing and also a kind of healing. We think the point is to pass the test or to overcome the problem, but the truth is that things don't really get solved. They come together and they fall apart again. Then they come together again and fall apart again. It's just like that. The healing comes from letting there be room for all of this to happen. Room for grief, for relief, for misery, for joy." Here ends our reading. Would you join me for just a moment of silence shared together? You might sit a little more deeply in your seat or let your eyes gently close or soften your gaze. Take a few deep breaths and settle into this shared silence. Namaste. Amen, and blessed be. We have 5 more weeks of winter ahead of us, according to the most famous rodent weatherman, Punxsutawney Phil. Last week was Groundhog Day. Did you know that February 2nd is also Imbolc? Imbolc is the pagan recognition of the midpoint between the winter solstice and the spring equinox. It's when we begin to experience the slightly longer days and the first glimpse of spring around the corner. Often crocuses and the other first flowers of the year are beginning to pop up during Imbolc. The alignment of these dates is no accident. Groundhog Day has its roots in German pagan tradition. It was originally Badger Day there. German-American immigrants turned to a more common species in North America, the groundhog, to mark this very special time of year. Groundhog Day marks a particular moment in the seasonal cycle, the first glimpse of spring and hope. I'm glad the snow melted this week, so that doesn't sound completely absurd to say. We all remember from elementary school science class that the seasons are a result of the Earth's slight tilt on its axis. As Earth orbits the sun, the tilt causes different hemispheres to receive more or less direct sunlight at different times of year. We may not have learned, or at least I certainly didn't remember from science class, that tilt is likely caused by a cataclysmic impact 4.5 billion years ago. The formation of a solar system is very messy business. For the first billion years or so, fledgling planets knocked into each other in a great dance. Our Earth experienced 10 major collisions with other bodies during that time. The last and possibly the most formative was a crash up with something called Theia. The theory says that around 4.5 billion years ago, Theia, a massive rock the size of Mars, hit Earth with such force that our planet turned spontaneously molten. Imagine an impact literally melting the Earth immediately. The resulting debris, a mixture of materials from Theia and Earth, eventually clumped together to form the moon. Maybe we didn't learn about that in elementary school because it sounds terrifying. The result of that random impact has been nothing short of a miracle. More than the beauty of the moon or the magic of tides, that cataclysm resulted in Earth's seasons. In her book, Mirrors in the Earth, Asia Suler argues that with the exception of a narrow band around the equator that's nearly seasonless, all of Earth's life is defined by seasonal shifts. Sugar maples burn into embers as they sense the sun's change. Geese fly north, peepers begin to sing in spring. The profusion of habitats, niches, flowers, fruit, migration patterns of species and subspecies is all due to this delicate tilt of Earth's alignment. Without the tilt, life as we know it wouldn't exist. It's possible that life wouldn't exist at all. The incredible diversity of life forms has always meant that some species are able to bounce back after major extinction events. Without our seasons, without having been knocked off kilter, we would not be nearly as diverse or as resilient as we are on this planet. Cataclysmic impacts can bring new, unexpected versions of life that we never dreamed of. More and more, people are understanding trauma as an event that damages a person's assumptive world. What does that mean? We all have an assumptive world based on what we've experienced, what we know to be true about daily life and our well-being. In different ways, we know that the world is predictable, reasonably safe, and generally good. That's not about being wealthy or popular or having a perfect life without suffering. It's more about believing that we can trust the basic foundations of life as we know it. A traumatic event dismantles our assumptive world. Trauma results in a loss of trust in others and ourselves and the world. Replacing that trust with a belief that people are inherently dangerous or untrustworthy. We all know when we've been wronged or maybe when we have wronged others, rebuilding trust in one other person is a long and slow process. Rebuilding trust in the whole world that we thought we knew is all that much more complicated. Trauma sounds like a rare thing, but for most of us, it doesn't happen often. But I'm willing to bet we have all faced more challenges than we readily bring up in polite conversation. You have been through major life-threatening events, life-altering stuff, and we have all helped other people through those journeys. Navigating grief isn't about amnesia or forgetting, nor is it about stewing in that moment or that year when life fell apart. Surviving and thriving is a long process of learning that what happened to us does not define us, and experiencing loss does not make us less of a person. Trauma also becomes embedded in our body. More and more mental health professionals are investing in holistic approaches that deal with our whole body and selves. The word that makes sense to me that I've heard is metabolizing. It takes time to metabolize all of that junk, and it's a project of our whole body to sort through and filter out and to integrate what serves us. Some of you know sailing has been one of my pastimes for a long time. It's something that I enjoy, I think, because it's a multi-sensory experience. Hopefully the weather is good and there's a sensation of warm sun and a cool breeze and an occasional splash of water. And you listen closely for the wind as it might shift, or any lines or sails that start flapping around. That's not good. Sometimes just keeping balance on a moving boat is a project. The thing that I love the most is the awareness of the force of wind pushing the whole boat gracefully through the water. It's sort of like the sensation of swimming or the tension on a kite string, but on a much bigger scale. Sailing takes a certain amount of attention. It's not stressful, but it engages a whole body and mind. On a good day, it's rebuilding trust in the reliability of wind and water and a human skill that we have been using for a long, long time. You have your own activities that help metabolize stress. Perhaps you knit or run. Some of you garden or cook or play board games or cuddle with your pets. All of these reassure us of the ground beneath our feet. They're nice for coping with stress, and they are absolutely essential for our resilience after real trauma. The book you may have heard of, The Body Keeps the Score, by Bessel van der Kamp, became hugely popular in recent years. The 2014 book explores how trauma gets integrated into the whole body and the approaches to deal with that. In an interview, the author talked about being brought to Puerto Rico in the wake of Hurricane Hugo. He said that when he landed there first, everybody was really busy after the hurricane doing stuff. They were rebuilding their homes and rebuilding their lives. Most people were helping each other and helping their families along the way. With all the work at hand, they were really too busy to think about their losses. Then the planes began to arrive, one of which he was on, and he watched FEMA jump into action. As soon as they arrived, FEMA said, no, you have to stop all this work. We have to first figure out how we're going to manage reimbursing you for these expenses. You need to stop rebuilding until we have a plan. He says that is the absolute worst thing that could have happened. Almost immediately, the energy that had been focused on rebuilding their homes shifted, and instead they began fighting with each other. Keeping survivors from being agents of their own recovery was a big, big mistake. They were deep in the process of rebuilding trust in one another and trust in themselves. They were rebuilding their assumptive world when an outside power said, stop. You can't do that on your own. We're going to do it for you. I am so glad that the Sparrow Project is here today to tell us one of the stories of migration to the United States. In California, I had the opportunity to walk with a handful of people seeking asylum here. The stories I heard, the reasons they left were astonishing. For most of them, it took multiple years to rebuild their life here. And that was with financial assistance and the tender, loving care of a whole army of church ladies to help them along the way. It took years to glue back together a belief that they could be safe in the world and that they could trust someone, including trusting themselves. I don't presume to tell the story of immigrants. They are not all criminals. They are not all heroes. They're pretty ordinary people. Many left their homes in the wake of trauma that we cannot imagine, and God willing, we never will. But I was reminded this week how much ICE is terrorizing an already traumatized community. This year, there is a lot of political grief for all of us to metabolize. We're all in a bit of political shock, or we should be at least. We're in the midst of an authoritarian breakthrough. That's the best description I've heard for this historical moment. It's not unique. Authoritarian breakthroughs have occurred in democracies all over the world. It's a consolidation of power by an elected leader who systematically dismantles checks, pushing toward a competitive authoritarianism. The process involves weakening the judiciary, purging civil servants, attacking the free press, and manipulating electoral systems. Does that sound familiar? This is not unique. Rather than military coups, modern breakthroughs occur through kind of legal frameworks, which makes it all the more challenging to deal with. The good news is, because this has happened many times and many places, we have some good ideas about how to stop it. And if we can stop it, we will see a resurgence of civil rights and public engagement. We will see gains in equality and equity for the most marginalized of our neighbors. We'll discuss some of those strategies soon, I promise. But for today, I want to remind us that loving our neighbors and rebuilding meaningful relationships is a tremendous form of resistance. Doing church really well is resistance. Perhaps our calling is not only to speak out loudly against ICE and authoritarianism. Perhaps our calling is also, as some describe universalism, to love the hell out of the world. So let us keep saying loud and proud that immigrants make America great. That we love our neighbors, especially those whose stories are different from our own. Let us imagine putting those words into action, not only with yelling in the streets, but also breaking bread with people and helping build a sense of safety and support for one another. In the Thea impact theory that I was describing earlier, a major mystery remains. That Mars-sized planet that collided with Earth is nowhere to be found. But objects that size don't just disappear, even in space. Some scientists answer this conundrum by pointing to Earth's core. They believe we cannot find evidence of Thea because it has become an integral part of our planet. The core of the Earth is much bigger than it should be for a planet of our size. So, scientists hypothesize that when Thea hit, she didn't glance off the surface. In that grand collision, she became a part of our planet, expanding the core, giving the Earth new shape. Asia Suler writes, "Our traumas shape us. They are, in a sense, a part of our makeup, expanding our very core. In the wake of healing, our center point becomes larger, our hearts widen, our capacity for joy, innocence, delight, and trust get that much bigger." Now, trauma becoming that kind of growth isn't always guaranteed, but it does happen. It can happen. Gently, with time, supporting one another and rebuilding the world together, things that we never even dreamed are possible. Amen. Our closing hymn today is "May Your Life Be as a Song,"
Yes. We will sing it once all together, and then I have volunteers from the choir, part 1, part 2, part 3. We got it. Please stand.
May your life be as a song, resounding with the dawn, to sing awake the night, and softly serenade the stars, ever dancing circles in the night. May your life be as a song, resounding. May your life be as a song, resounding with the song, to sing awake the night, and softly serenade the stars, ever dance your life in the night. May your life be as a song.
Please be seated.
Rick will come forward to extinguish our chalice, and I offer words from Craig Rowland, Where Holiness is Hard to See. As we extinguish this flame, may we carry its smoke with us into the streets, into the places where holiness is hard to see, but always waiting to be noticed. Let us go with eyes open for wonder in the worn out, with reverence for each passerby, and with the knowing that the sacred does not hide from the world, it lives in it. Go now, not to escape the brokenness, but to journey beside it, and sometimes to bless it.
The world aches for us to join together and bring about healing, to toil for justice and produce ever-increasing love. That is our calling. Friends, go in peace. Let the light within each of you be a blessing to the world.